Okay, so this is the Ektar H35 half frame camera by Kodak. Booyah! It's blurry, it's not. Let's talk about this little gem of a camera. Come on. All right, so what are we working with here? Basically, this is a point and shoot camera, very similar to the disposable cameras that all these companies made. You might have had a Fuji, you might have had a Kodak, really plastic, cheap feeling, very light. However, these new ones kind of pack a little bit of a punch, and I'll tell you why. Number one, it's a budget camera. Why? 50 bucks. And it's reusable. That means we can keep filling it up with our favorite stock of film. That's an awesome thing. But even better than that, it is a half frame. So what does that mean? Well, if we look at this as a single frame, this actual rectangle as a single frame. Now, if we just cut that down the middle, now we have a half frame. So basically, if I had a roll of 36, say Kodak Gold 200, I would get essentially 72 images out of that roll, which is amazing, especially in the climate that we're in with the recession and film prices and inflation. 72 frames is a godsend. This is huge, especially if you're on a budget. The one adjustment we can make is turning on the flash on and off by simply turning the ring where the lens is. So there you see the red light goes on. That means your flash is ready to go, and that is it. There is no bells and whistles on this. Okay, so let's break down the camera and the specs so we can get right to the images that I took with this camera over the last couple of weeks. So number one, it's a 22mm lens. Roughly any lens that is 22 to 30 millimeters is kind of like that point of view of a point and shoot. It's a fixed lens, f9.5 aperture. The shutter speed is 1/100th of a second, so it's not that fast. So it's a 2-element acrylic lens. So that's a good thing, and you can tell with some of your images, they're pretty sharp for a half frame camera at 50 bucks. I had a lot of fun shooting with it, and this will not be the last time that I use this. What you know about the little sage? I thought it was pretty nice color. Anyways, let's take a look at some of the images that I made with my H35 half frame camera. Now let's talk about the design of this camera. Aesthetically, beautiful. It gives you that feeling of a very vintage 1960s point and shoot camera. There's other colors that it comes in. I wrote them down here: sage, sand, brown, and black. So you have 4 options here. I just picked the sage because honestly, like I said, I want to stay creative. And I think if I have a beautiful looking camera, whether it's on my shelf or if it's a conversation starter with people on the street, let's do it. We already know it's an f9.5 lens. This is not going to be some bokeh, blown out, beautiful portrait that I'm taking of somebody on the street. But mentally, my mind is saying, let's try and do that, even if we have a camera that is simple as this. So another thing I want to bring to your attention is, even if you're shooting in landscape, you see, landscape, I'm shooting in landscape, the actual frame is in portrait mode, okay? So the frames line up in portrait mode while you're holding it in landscape. And if you want to shoot in landscape, you actually have to turn it into portrait mode. So now I'm in portrait mode, and if you see the bars on the top, you know you're in landscape. A little reminder of that, but don't worry, you'll see the bars on the side so you know that you're in portrait mode. And if you see the bars on the top, you know you're in landscape mode. Just a small thing to remember. I think I screwed up once or twice, but at the end of the day, I already know I got 72 frames, so I'll just bang it away, bang away. So I think I found my best results around 5 feet away. I have this thing because I shoot so much street on the 28-35 millimeter range that I don't step in enough, and I've been really inspired lately to get closer. It's just that it was my first time with this half frame, and I was hesitant still because I'm thinking, I got 72 frames, great, but I also don't want to waste frames. And it's that mentality that, because film has been so expensive the last few years, that you get hesitant to shoot, but the whole point is to be creative. So I'm like, going forward, I'm gonna try so many things, but to get a good depth and get everything sharp around 4 or 5 feet seems like a good distance for your subject. So a quick little history note on the idea of a half frame. It came in the 60s, I believe 1963. There was the Olympus Pen F. Yeah, the Olympus Pen F in 1963, quoting from them, the world's first and only half frame system single lens reflex camera. So the idea was people would go on vacation and, you know, you can shoot a roll of 36 and then you got to change the film, but the half frame get more images at the same price, and I'm on vacation, so this is fantastic. Maybe you bring 3 rolls, but you're really bringing 6 to bring that idea back and bring it into the masses, especially when film is so expensive. I thought it was a perfect timing. Okay, so those are my thoughts on the point and shoot. I hope you love those images. I tried my best to not take it too serious. I did some editing in Lightroom to, you know, make the colors pop a bit more. I used the Kodak Color Plus 200 as usual, my favorite film stock as of late. I really was happy with my results. And now the next rolls that I take, I feel like I'm gonna really try and be creative. I don't care what mistakes I make. I have that out of my system now. Now I know, just go shoot. You're getting double the amount of exposures, so make the most of that and really try and be creative, because I think when we're always worried about being perfect online, being perfect in our photography journey, it's more important to be creative and then let the chips fall where they may. Let me know if you've tried this camera. Let me know if you've tried any of these kind of point and shoot reusable cameras and your experience. What's your favorite film stock? And share some images. Put a link so we know. Put your @ or something. And I hope you had a lot of fun coming along this journey of 36, aka 72 frames. As always, stay creative and believe in yourself. Peace.